All right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bison, aka Bison Trades, over on Twitter. Welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. We got a heater today. This week is absolutely electric over in NFT world, over in Web3. We have our favorite dog on the internet, Mr. Easy Eats himself, launching Bodagos. Talk about Nifty. We'll talk about everything in between, why we're excited for Bodagos in general. And then, of course, we got Gen 3 monkeys on the way, the monkeys. So, I mean, dude, between those alone, those are two of the mints of the year. I mean, I'm biased, but hey, Heist is up there, Mad Lads, Dogs. Then we got Gen 3 monkeys. Are you kidding me? It's electric right now. Two of them in the same week. We're going to talk about all of that. We're also going to talk about Azuki. We need to talk about Azuki. I am very excited for the Azuki mint for a multitude of reasons. Mainly just as a passerby. I'm not minting. I'm too poor, I guess, if you want to call it that. But at the same time, it's more so I don't have a loud list or anything like that. And I think this thing's going to cook. I'm so excited. I don't know if anybody's seen the trailer or anything for Azuki Elementals, but we're going to talk about what that means and the implications for NFTs moving forward, because if they succeed, that just sets a precedent that we haven't seen in the space. So join with me to talk about it today. The man, the myth, the legend himself, my content brother in Christ, Mr. Door. How we doing today, Door?
Yo, what's going on, dog? Every day's a holiday. Happy to be back, man. There's nothing like being on RareFUD when the market's popping off, dude. It's so much going on. To be a little biased, man, you got to forget one of the most important mints that's happening this week on Thursday, OMB Green Eyes, man.
That's true. That too. Yeah, we definitely look. Ordinal land is your realm, so I'll let you speak on that.
All
But
right.
yeah, Green Eyes. I'm look. You just don't fade ZK at this point. In case you already missed, like this man, he's too humble, but he definitely was one of the hidden success factors of D Gods in
Yes.
in my
Yep.
view. And then he transfers that knowledge of a Bitcoin over to Ordinals, and you just see what he does with OMB. So I don't think that's going to be any different. Green Eyes is definitely. We'll talk about Green Eyes because I definitely am. I want to hear what you have to say about it. But
Yeah.
dude, we got that. We got Thordinals over with the frogs.
Cyber frogs.
I know Joe's going to be talking on that front. We got crypto, ripping, hitting some key levels. We'll talk about that. We got a lot to talk about.
Let's go, dog.
A lot to talk about. And I will try my best to maintain my good showmanship while trading these dogs because I love them. I love them so much, and my eyes are glued to the screen. But nonetheless, let's bring on our third co-host, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Oh, and he switched the PFP at the right time. Mr. JoeSol.
Hey.
What's up, bro?
Baby. We're in here. It's a great day. It's a great day, bro. Bodoggos are ripping like we knew they would. Seeing some good volume in the market. Seeing some good levels being pinged here after a little sell-off in the macro market as well. So yeah, things are looking up, man. It's great to be in this space when you're around people know well what's going on, because you end up positioning yourself in projects or positioning yourself in pre-sale or positioning yourself in whitelist that gets you to where you are. People do like to say take a break, and breaks are important, but it's a fine line, right? Because staying in touch will always allow you to make some money in this market. So this is just another one of those points.
Yeah, I also, real quick, Joe, I think it's important to time your breaks as well. There's some times where it's like foot on the gas, baby. It's like you just got to grind, man, because like right now I think is one of those go times. But for the past 3 weeks, while you didn't need to be in tune every day, you should have took that time to disconnect, while also, as Joe said, just be somewhat engaged, just, keeping up at least what's going up or what's coming.
Well said. Well said. I could not agree more because, look, we took our break 100%. I take the break again. That was a good time to take a break. And I think this is the time that you need to be paying attention. We came back at the right time to have a nice little week to prepare for what was going on in Web3 in general. It wasn't just over on Solana. It was obviously BTC. We got OXBT. We talked to BitGod last episode. If you missed that, make sure, you subscribe down below. Hit that little red box. Make sure you hit the bell notification. We do go live every Tuesday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then episodes are, of course, uploaded to podcast itself. But we did have BitGod on, probably our highest profile interview to date. We always have some of the best guests on the space. But we did talk to him about OXBT, what they got cooking up over there. And then this week, we got Green Eyes, man. Green Eyes. We'll definitely be jumping into that. But then over on Ethereum, we have Ether. If I'm pronouncing that right too. It's another anime sort of style project. I don't know if anybody's seen it yet or not, but it's probably one of the more hype mints that we've had, like new collections, right? Because obviously we have Elementals as well. We'll be talking about that because Elementals is going for what I think it is a record-breaking raise on how much they're trying to raise, and in this market. So if they succeed with what they are trying to raise, they blow it out of the water. You know what I mean? So and set a precedent for all of NFTs, just to show the signal that, hey, we still have sentiment here in Web3. We're still going to crush it. And, we got multiple chains to look over. So that being said, let's go over to the analytics tab, get on with the show. We are looking at 127,000 Solana volume. That is going to change drastically as soon as we get done with the day of Bodoggos. We'll easily see over 200K Solana volume.
Oh yeah, easy, dog.
The chain. Magic Eden sitting at 50% of market share. Tensor at 40.8% of market share. Hades Swap below 10K Solana volume. So be careful. I don't know if that's a Hades down or Hades Swap thing or what's going on in the market, but Solana Art surprisingly at a 1.2% share. What's going on in Solana Art? It's not like a massive amount of volume, but 1.5K, like who is trading on Solana Art? We need to
exactly.
talk. That's weird. It might have just been like one DGod sale or something that was just listed on Solana art for
Pump
forever.
the
I don't
floor.
know. Yeah, and then exchange art, over 1,000 Solana volume, still stuff popping over on exchange art. That's good to see. Yeah, love to see it. Guys, how do we feel about the market right now? We'll go with Door first and then Joe.
Man, I'm feeling hella good about the market, dog. It seems like RareFUD, we're slowly going from being SOL focused to like multi-chain here pretty quick. So overall, especially on the SOL side, it's great to see volume come back. We've been below what 50K volume, daily volume for a minute now, for a couple of weeks. It's been pretty atrocious, but with all these mints coming up, we're starting to see a lot of life back in the market, which I'm super excited for, especially with Bodogos. Easy's hosts one of the best spaces in the space. So I know he knows what he's doing with his project. So I'm sure he already has announcements lined up to keep the hype going on this thing. Bodogos, I think, hit 17 for today as his highest. I think we're going to see that continue to pump here in the near future. Over on the Ordinal side, there's a lot of hype going on over there, but for OMB Green Eyes, and that's tend to affecting a lot of BRC20. So I think we're seeing a pullback in OXBT because people are gathering up liquidity to ape into Green Eyes. Right now, if you have a Green Eyes or managed to get a whitelist from somebody who had a blue or red eyes, you are able to mint for 0.09 BTC, but then public is going to be 0.3 BTC. So we're starting to see a lot of people prepare for that. But and then, as Bison mentioned, Azuki over on ETH. So just great to see life in all three chains, man. There's ample opportunity out there.
Yeah, it is. You bring up a really good point before we go over to Joe, because we definitely got to break down the crypto market as well. The raises you're able to do on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then you look over at Solana, and we are like, I'm in the same boat. Like I sit there, I'm like, that's a hell of a raise coming from Monkey DAO, but Monkey DAO has been one of the most top tier builders in the space, and we're funding them for raising as much as they are. Again, I think this is a byproduct of the infancy of the chain, and then the underlying asset price is like, if we were at, like $200 a Solana, I don't think we bat an eye at how much they're raising in dollar terms. It's more so like we're really trying to raise that much right now when Solana's like what, $17, not even. And it's tough because, but I think with Monkey DAO especially, they'll keep most of that liquidity. Obviously, they got to pay themselves and stuff, but they are one of the best reinvestors into the space as well. So I'm of course coming around to it where I'm like, you know what? Honestly, I want them to raise that much. I think they should. I've been saying this for a while. It's just more so like, that's a whole lot of fucking soul, man. It's a whole lot. But at the same time, look over at what Azuki's trying to raise. We'll get into that later in the show. And then what OMB is raising, which again, ZK's already proven like, hey, this is a fraction of the current floor. And I know it's going to be a little delusionary, but and who knows what the difference is between red eyes,
nobody
blue eyes, green eyes. You never know with him because he's so cryptic, but that's just how Bitcoin is over there. So I don't know. It's just interesting to see. Joe, what's your thoughts on the market real quick before we start tackling some of these headlines?
Yeah, man, market is fruitful for people that aren't too bullish or too bearish during these times. You can understand that there's 300+% pump store in bear markets, and you can kind of wrap your head around the volatility you're able to kind of like connect with. The NFT space obviously is really about who you know and what you know and how often you're here. So the NFT space is definitely very fast paced, and it's not a set and forget. It can be, right, but it's not lucrative. For right now, it's very lucrative for people that are here, and they understand how market moves and who's hot, what's speculative, what's weaponized speculation, and how liquidity flows, right? Because there always is a set amount of liquidity at a set amount of time, right, relative to the market. And you see OMB, you see Bodogos, and you can see, projects, SPLs, low market cap stuff, assets dying down. Those will come back up if they have good teams and stuff, right? When that liquidity rolls back over, right? When the hype kind of slows down and they're looking for the next pop. Because the majority of people in this space are here to make money, right? We're not investors. We're here to make money. So if you understand that, that'll help you a lot, right? Because a lot of people get their feelings hurt. They're like, man, my team's doing so much. Why is my bags down? These people are getting $1 million for $1 mints, right? It's just because it's not an investor's ecosystem. It's a trader's ecosystem. So you start to understand that, you can understand how to kind of capitalize on that and build a bag to invest with, right? And not have to worry about it, but have it being free, essentially. So yeah, man, I like where the market is. Like I said before, it could go up, it could go down from here, but hedging is amazing in this type of market, the sideways market. It's a lot of fun to play with those underlying assets like we are now with these digital assets. So yeah, I like where we're at.
Yeah, I think so too. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Obviously, Bitcoin over 30K and we're holding it, and it seems like we want to stay there for at least the time being. I wouldn't be surprised if we come back through and, start retesting some of the mid-range order blocks that I've been seeing for a while. Maybe like that 29.5, and then we can start talking about like 28.5 even, and more like 28. But looking at some of those and being like, okay, maybe we retest there, but I don't think it's long before Bitcoin just starts ripping, and then we're going to see some of the assets that weren't classified as quote unquote securities by the SEC. We'll start seeing those start tail along once people realize like, oh wow, they were just bullshitting the entire time, and they, not to put on my tinfoil hat, not trying to do it, but at the same time, really funny how it all came out at the same time, where it's like, oh yeah, now we're doing a Bitcoin ETF, and we'll start doing a bunch of digital asset ETFs too.
Yo, exactly, dog. I'm right there with you, man. It's so interesting too. It's like, wonder what like Sol's a security, huh? That's interesting. Let me pack my bags up with Sol, and then it's not a security anymore. Go figure.
Yeah, there's something fishy there. Just looking at all of the prices right now, ETH doing very well. Coming through. I think they will tackle 2K again here relatively soon. And I'm just looking at the charts right now. Everything looks pretty good. I wouldn't say great or anything like that, but looks good. I think it'll stay in this high 18, 19 range, and then it'll start tackling 2K. And once it breaks 2K, I can see that, really leading the charge. And so I don't know. It's just a very interesting time in the crypto market. It does feel like a little bit more positive sentiment has come back into the market, and it's good to see across all chains. So I'm happy where we're at right now, but I'm more excited for where NFTs are going. I've been saying this for a while. I think this most recent cohort of NFTs, you can start that timeline maybe around like the Clayno and Liberty Squirrel Mint, and then onwards. There's been a ton of quality projects. Like, it's not just a bunch of DJ mints and rugs and recycled Fiverr art or anything like that. It's a lot of people that are going through and saying, hey, I'm making the art to fit my ethos, and I'm building an ecosystem out from the art. Or, hey, this art is top tier. Or, hey, I'm doing something really cool with it. Or I'm building a really cool tech product. And we've seen it time and time again over the past, I'd say 6 to 9 months, and we've had a lot of good projects. I think that's a byproduct of people still want to launch during a bear market. What are they going to get? It's like, oh yeah, they're going to rug us. No, most of them probably building something really cool. I think this week is a really good example of that. Let's start with Bodogos. Obviously minted today. Absolutely cooking right now. Cooking. The volume is at, according to Tensor, 43,462 Solana volume. Dude. In the first hour and a half, I think they officially, they pretty much minted out around 1. It's not even an hour and a half. That is absurd volume.
That is some crazy.
You know what makes me think, B, what you said, probably a couple months back, you were saying how people were going, when D-Guys and Utes were leaving, I remember you saying, who's going to be number one? And I remember you making a point on a few spaces that were like, well, what if they're not even here yet, right? What if those projects aren't here that are going to be number one, right?
Yep.
So now you're seeing this, right? And guys, there's a chance that this becomes R1, right? Because who does it better than a founder like Easy, if you really want to bet on something? And the Nifty portal behind that is a real track record, completely doxed, millions and millions of views on their YouTube, right? So yeah, B, I think that's a great point. I just thought about it when you said that. Dude, it's so true what you said. And now you kind of see that happening now, coming to fruition, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, that initial volume in this market right now shows you that that liquidity was here, but it was just waiting for the right moment.
Yep,
it was 100% waiting for it, and I always examined it from okay, D-Gods and Utes clearly did it better at gaining the attention than anybody else. And we talked about making a case for SMB, which of course SMB is SMB. Like you're not going to take that away from them. DGen 8, OG collection, they've held their floor really well. But outside of, I've heard talks about art rework. I think maybe they're getting the mouth traits out because holy cow, like the floor, the difference between a good DAA and all the floors with like made outfits with a corn dog in their mouth is like, it's night and day difference. I mean, like a good DAA looks so good. And all like, I don't mean to FUD DAA. Have massive respect for them. They made a ton of people a lot of money. Congrats. Outside of launching what DGen Trash Pandas and DGen Drop Bears, like DGen Trash Panda's done more than DAA. You know what I mean? Like I hate to call a spade, but
survive off of a farce provenance, one would say, right? Like it's like,
Yeah. So I like, but I just looking back at them, and then Tayo, I wasn't sure what Tayo was doing, and then Pilots just furthered that point when Pilots did, like you had the world in your palms, dude. Your floor hit like I think it was a 60 soul floor at one point. It was like
40, Pilots?
40, 50
it
soul
was.
Floor for Pilots.
I saw, Rebels were like 40 something at one point. Yeah. 50,
Yo! I mean, like,
and
you floundered that opportunity. That you had the perfect launch day, and D-Gods and Newts were leaving, and you fumbled the bag. You fumbled it. You absolutely just sat there and you fumbled it. And they're at 6.79 right now. So looking at all those, that's why I was making the case that they weren't even here yet. Like I did not think they were even here yet. Gecko's probably the one outside of SMB and Foxes that I sit there and I'm like, okay, those are the ones that like you survived that depth of a bear cycle, you were going to make it. But just looking at everything we had coming up, between Mad Lads and Bodagas, we got Heist, obviously, not to show my own bags, but Heist. I'm trying to think of some other big ones that were around. Those were the ones that I was like, yeah, they have a proven track record. They're coming back again. They're still building.
Exactly.
They're the ones that are gonna make it. And what do you know? Like it won't always be the case. We'll see what the future plans are with it. But I know what we got cooking with Heist, which we just dropped Ripe Bargains today. I don't know if anybody saw that.
No, I did not.
That's a good. No, I did transition into that because that's huge, right? Because they dropped orangutans, and I think they dropped a lot that people don't realize in that Discord message.
Yeah, we dropped a lot. So Ripe Bargains, our next robbery location. It is robbery. I don't know. I obviously I'm so laser focused on real estate and RareFUD and everything like that. I haven't checked most recent announcements and everything like that within our team Discord. But yeah, it's so drop Ripe Bargains comes with a Lucky Lighter and a lockpick. Those are two things. There's now a 20x event that you can be doing on your heist. So not just the 10x anymore, 20x. We dropped a ton of different quality of life updates as well. So, for me, for instance, I have so many common duffels. It's insane. Now they're actually sorted out by like plus 16 to, like they're sorted ascending into descending, which may not sound like a big problem to a lot of people, but for me, I have like 40 of those things, and so I'd be like trying to scroll through on this little itty bitty thing. I'll be like, I just got to find the plus 15, plus 16 one. Where is it? And I have to go through like plus 10, plus 12, plus 11. And it was just a pain in the ass. So having all that, there's a bunch of other quality of life updates that are coming with it. Now that we have Ripe Bargains as well, this setting us up for loot crates that are going to be more perpetual, that people will be able to open. So if you felt like Nana, which has been doing incredibly well, it's been outperforming Sol. If you bought into Nana, you are doing much better than the rest of the market. But if you felt like that was a good little pump, you're going to feel the real pressure of it once loot crates drop. So yeah, it's nice. I mean, I think we're setting ourselves up to have a great rest of season 1, which is always what we wanted. Have some nice little events here and there, but really it's season 2 we're setting ourselves up for. So there is going to be some pre-sale for heist holders for I don't even know if Stud drop. I mean, Studs, I can't keep track of them anymore. The man's on a rampage of alpha. Orangutans are going to be in the game. And I'm not dropping what they do or anything like that, but yeah, there's going to be there will be some pre-sales coming up. So if you're not in the Heist Discord and you do hold Heist, like make sure that you're checking in periodically. Like we'll make sure that there's enough time. We're doing it far enough in advance that you guys can, plan accordingly. But there'll be some pre-sale for heist holders, and then obviously we'll want to expand the game as well. So we'll open up some of the stuff to public or DAOs and anything like that, any collabs. But thinking about things in a meaningful way on how to scale out the ecosystem. That one, this is going to be a fun race for us. Like, I'm not hiding it, because every game needs funds to continue to create, and holy cow, games are expensive. So there's a lot that goes with it, but we do plan on like making this just like with recruitment. That was such a small scale of what we can do to expand the ecosystem. So, and then season 2 token and onwards that will be used. There'll be some stuff for that as well. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. But yeah, we got stuff cooking over on the heist.
Dude, so first of all, I want to get into the heist because I don't think I can go over an episode of RareFUD without talking about the heist. No, I got 18 chimps, man, and I don't pay attention to the floor price just because the value of me continuing to play the game and acquire Nana, it far exceeds the base value of the NFT itself. With all this stuff coming out, especially with the expansion of the ecosystem within season 1 and season 2, it's like I don't want to sell my chimps. I'm pretty sure I've already made well over my cost basis back. So even if heist went to 0 tomorrow, I'd be fine. But the thing is, it's like I just enjoy playing the game. That feeling when you get a 10x after you bid in the Federal Reserve for like 3 to 4 days is just like, oh man, there's nothing better than pulling like 30, 40K off of a chimp, man. And like with the orangutans coming up, some people might fudge you guys and be like, oh, well, you guys just did this huge raise. But the thing is, it's I guess, kind of a paradox that you guys are in, because the guys who have been playing the game for these 2 months have probably well overmade their income back, or their initial investment back. I know this one guy on Twitter, I forgot his exact name, but dude has some obscene amount of chimps, printing like tens of thousands of dollars worth of Nana. It's insane. I think you might know him, Bison. He's probably like one of the largest heist holders.
Probably
but
Get the Bag or Later Nerd or something.
Yeah, Later Nerd. There we go.
Yeah. Later Nerd's a Chad. He's been with Remnants for a while, but
yeah.
No, it is. I the thing about Later Nerd and Get the Bag that's so nice is that we'll never see that supply again. Like, these guys literally hold it to 0 if it ever went there, but heist is built that we won't. But the nice thing about it too is that I know they're talking about like, oh, all the money they're making. And I see a lot of posts like this too, but I also know those same people are reinvesting into the game, and that's all we wanted. So
and don't get me wrong too. It's like I reinvest in the game. I spend money on Nana on contracts all the time. I spend anytime a new cosmetic raffle comes out, I spend Nana on that. I spend Nana anytime, especially with skill upgrades. Goddamn, I will buy Nana to upgrade my skills. So I think that's the biggest thing for me. Like, I am not playing around with my skill upgrades. Max out everything as soon as I have an opportunity. So it's like I reinvest my Nana. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie to you guys and be like, oh, I'd never take profits, because that'd be ridiculous. So I do that. But I just like the game. It gives me something to do. And it's no offense against Remnants, but I think it's better than Remnants by a long shot. I got bored of Remnants. Like, after a couple weeks, I have not been bored of Heist yet.
No, that's why we did it. You learn from our original design of Remnants and say, how do we not fall into those pitfalls again? I'm not saying we're ever going to abandon Rems. It's just like it's a redesign process that will take a while. So if you're not into, plus Remnants are free right now. They're like 2.5 SOL or something like that. So if you did, like, you wanted to throw something in the ledger that will probably have value because you see what we're doing with Heist, and you want something cheap, Remnants could be a possible entry for a lot of people. So that being said, Joe, you still enjoying the Heist too, right?
Oh yeah, man. I actually just pulled a 4 and 12-hour day heist. I pulled 86,000 total in 4 days. So that's like 14, 15 SOL in under a week right there. And then I just got my top chimp to top 50. He's like, I think 51 right now or 52 off of that, because he pulled like 24K or something. Yeah, dude, I'm in here for the long haul. I did sell some Rillas and chimps along the way, as well as some Nana. I recouped all my costs and updated all of my 14 chimps now, but now everything I have is stacked, right? Like, I don't sell anything else. I just can stack that bag of Nana, because I know the new mint coming. There's so many more things that can be advantageous price-wise for me rather than just selling for the come up. But I learned my lesson with D-Gods, right? I was in it early. I was in Stone Ape Crew early. I had the SBL pump, and I didn't sell daily. It recouped my costs like I should have, and I watched it go to zero in a big bag of both. And obviously Dust came back, but Puff did it, all did it. So with this time around, with the SPL being so liquid, I said I'm going to take my profits along the way. But I think with this and the tokenomics they've built, there's enough. It has enough liquidity and enough incentive to hold and buy to keep that sell pressure level. And then most people aren't selling every day, right? They're doing like I'm doing. They're selling to recoup and to build their deck, and it's chilling, right? So I just think there's a beautiful combination coming together. And then this next mint, you got to think ETH communities, BTC communities. You're really able to strive out and grab other communities and ecosystems and bring them in. And you're just making the map bigger, but you're also making the psychological event of the heist bigger within itself. So I'm full on biased, but yeah, bull biased here for the heist.
Yeah,
exactly.
Dude, I think all of us are. I just, once again, I hate it because I know during mint time, people are going to try to FUD the heist. But the thing is like the people who've been playing the game this entire time is going to be like, you guys go ahead and FUD, and I'm going to max mint these orangutans or whatever the heck is coming next. I don't care. I'm going to try to pick up 20 to 30. I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Well, I'm glad we had our heist rant today. No more heist today. We'll talk about it later. There are some fun things. If you guys do want to get into the heist, be sure to follow the heist and Juice and myself and everybody else. Like I know DS is giving away a chimp and Nana right now, like 5,000 Nana to like 9 people. So yeah, just make sure you go over there, do a retweet, comment, whatever he's saying to do. And you'd be surprised. A lot of people are winning these giveaways, and that gives you 5 entries into recruitment raffles. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, like, look, we just try to build something out that, I think the skill curve is high, but it's very easy to get into, which is all we wanted to do, like how to play it optimally, spend 10 minutes to figure that out. But yeah, it's like it takes 2 seconds to get your NFTs in there and just throw them into a heist, throw them into a robbery, whatever you want to do. But nonetheless, let's get into, we have so many other things to cover today. Yeah. We already talked about Bodogos, still holding up nicely, dude. These things are,
what are they sitting at
right now? They're sitting at 15.
Oh, damn, that's good.
15. Yeah.
That's good.
Depending on what you're looking at. So if you're looking at without royalties, it's 14.8. And then, obviously with royalties and everything, going to be a little different. But yeah, these things cooking, dude. What do we expect? It's easy. We talk about this, and I have a few people ask me, like, what's the utility of these? What am I going to do with it? Bro, just let the man cook. You don't need you just want that to see, like, oh yeah, things are just gonna pump. Bro, Mad Lads just got staking. You don't even know what you're staking for. Backpack Mobile isn't even a thing, and these things are already 95 sold. You know what I mean? Like just let people cook. This thing just minted,
I hate to be this guy, man, but after having exposure to different ecosystems now, it's like it's always win-win-win on Solana. In OMB Discord, never do I hear when ZK do this. When all it is ZK's cooking. Let him do his thing. Let Easy do his thing, dog. Like, we just minted today. Stop asking when the next thing is going to be released. Give him some time.
Yeah. I mean, it's silly. We're beating a dead horse here because we talk about it all the time on RareFUD, but this is not a Solana problem. This is a Solana community problem. Mm-hmm. And just because it's easy to sell, very frictionless, doesn't mean you have to go out and do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. We'll see what happens moving forward. But yeah, let's talk about some other stuff. We got Gen 3 monkeys coming. Talked about it pretty extensively, but honestly, I'm kind of excited. I have enough liquidity to saved up to buy like a couple of them. That I'm sure, like, if they open up at 50, 60, whatever it is, like, I have enough liquidity on the side. But yeah, like, I'm getting excited for it because I think they're going to do cool things with the money. And obviously, one, you got to pay back Soul Big Brain, which I'm still just like, why did we do it? Monkey DAO could have been completely different. It could have gone with something else. I'm not going to beat that dead horse either. But yeah, dude, like, I don't know. I was sitting here, like, with the remaining money, you finally get to pay people that have given so much to the ecosystem, on top of the fact that now you have a good foundation liquidity wise to really take that money and build out monkey ventures in all their arms and all their ways and shapes and forms. So I think this can be really cool. Still, the two things I'm unsure about is not so much how much they're raising, but one, the SBB loan. I'm going to let them sort that out. Obviously, I don't know what happened behind the scenes or whatever, but two is the collection size. I still just 15K so much. And I know Utes did it, right? Like Utes did it. But the one thing I will say that Frank has done infinitely better than Monkey DAO is the attention economy. Like, it didn't matter if like one of the big things about Monkey DAO was the tight knit community that you have with Monkey DAO and Monkey Ventures and everything. And then, like, whether people want to admit it or not, is the whitelist opportunities and pre-sale opportunities. And when you dilute that supply, you're going to lose those opportunities. And then it's like, well, does it go to Gen 2 first? And then, monkeys get the remaining portion, or what does that look like? So I don't know. It's just, that's really the only question I have. That's the only question I have. But Door, our resident monkey over here. Look, I'm going to buy one if I don't win the raffle. Is the raffle going on right now?
No. So what's going on today is the initial, like, so if you hold a monkey, you can go in and mint your monkey. You have 3 months to do so. So there's no rush. Like, if you don't mint your barrel today, it's fine. You can mint it 2 months from now and still get one. So you get one barrel for each SMB that you have. For some reason, Phantom's acting hella weird today, and I can't use my ledger, nor can I send things out of my ledger using Phantom. So I'm just like, I'll check back in tomorrow. So tomorrow is going to be the Monkey DAO pre-sale. So I think it's 12 today, and I think 14 tomorrow, where each holder, not each holder, it'll be first come, first serve at 4.
No, there he goes. Welcome
Sorry,
back.
my internet's lovely. It'll be at 4 different time frames. So I think it's like 1 a.m. where I'm at, 6 a.m., 12 a.m., or 12 p.m., then 6 p.m. During that opportunity, you'll have a chance to mint 3 additional barrels. I don't know if you'll be able to mint 3 each of those rounds, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to. And then after that, it's the public raffle. That's when people will be able to deposit 19.9 SOL or something like that into a public raffle. And if you win, you get a whitelist spot. And if you don't, you get your SOL back. Minus 0.1 because 0.1 goes to the platform. But yeah, man. And then after that, a week later, barrels will be revealed. So I think there'll be a lot of pre-mint trading and then post-reveal trading.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm excited because if they do turn out like, look, Bodalgo is clearly showing that there's volume going on in the market, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I think we can all agree upon that. If we go into a mint tube sort of situation with the barrels, and there's some gamification there, like, these unrevealed sort of mechanics, but you can reveal them whenever you want. That's going to be very fun to me. I love those trading opportunities. And if you give me that opportunity again, I'm going to take it. I'm going to buy a bunch of barrels, and then I'm just going to keep them unrevealed until I start looking. They better build out an Explorer too, because I swear if the Dust Labs team or the D Labs team built out that and the Monkey DAO team doesn't, I fudge you. All right. You give me an Explorer because then I can game that. But at the same time, like, I am excited to get some exposure into Monkey DAO again. Obviously, I had my monkey loaned out in the nick of time before they absolutely capitulated. I'll take my minor loss compared to a major one, but that's neither here nor there. I'm excited. I'm excited for them. I'm excited for them to get liquidity. And I think that's about it. Joe, you looking at any monkeys, Gen 3 monkeys, barrels, anything like that?
No. I will look at once they're revealed and they're trading on secondary for a little bit, and they either come with announcement or don't, and then I'll play price action from there. Just because I don't have my finger on the trigger with this, like you guys are speaking about it. It was the first time I've even really heard about the mechanisms from behind. Do I think there's ability to really make some money there and stash up yourself with a great collection? Probably one of the best known on Solana. Absolutely, but I know where my utilities lie, and it's not with chasing the trend. So I'll chill and wait for some secondary play and then play off of metrics like I'm good with. But yeah, I think it's a good play for people like you and Door for sure, especially Door. Door's been in the mix for a minute now. So
I'm about to say I only want one just so I get some exposure to the ecosystem, but I'm not rushing into it. You know,
Yeah,
if I don't
I
win on the
wouldn't ape
raffle,
into
then
this.
whatever. Yeah, I mean it's not.
Yeah.
But that's always been Monkey DAO. Like the people don't buy and trade those, or I mean, like some people will play some medium term swings, which is nice. It's nice to see that we have a collection on Solana to do so. But all right, we got so many other things to cover. Let's go into OMB first, and then we'll start tackling some of the ETH stuff. But Dor, talk us through why should we care about Green Eyes?
Because the floor price of red and blues are like 3 Bitcoin. no, I mean, it's in addition to that, you gain access to the OMB community. One of my most bullish cases on why I even went to OMB is because the ordinal market is still extremely young. I don't foresee, and I also see the ordinal market competing against ETH and potentially overtaking it. People went to ETH because of its provenance and because of the history of that chain. And why wouldn't they do the same with Bitcoin? So I was on the lookout for a while. And I'm like, when I found OMB, I'm like, this is it. This is the thing that's going to do well. Did I freeze?
No.
Okay, good. Because like I'm frozen on one. My internet's tripping, so it wouldn't be surprising. So yeah, man. It's an opportunity to gain access to the ordinal ecosystem, and especially one of the thought leaders within it. While I know the mint price is a bit high, I just think there's minimum potential downside even with such a high mint price. If you're able to get in at 0.3, and the collection's spanning, it's 2,100 Green Eyes, so it's spanning from 200 to 2,300, which I think is fine. More people rocking Green Eyes on the timeline, more tighter knit community. I'm all about that lifestyle. So while it might affect the price of red and blue eyes in the short term, I don't necessarily think so, because holders of red and blue are getting whitelist for green. So there could be any price differentiation. If you really need liquidity, you could sell the greens. And that's not here or there. But I'm really looking forward to it, man. Really looking forward to getting new people in the community. And that's what I was saying about the price action. I'm like, 0.3 sounds like a lot. But if you're looking at potential downside versus upside, I think the downside is limited. At worst, 0.3, I think it could drop to 0.2. And this is just me being in the most extreme bearish. 0.2 to 0.15. That's your downside. But I think you have a lot higher upside than the downside. And then around the 0.3 price range, it'll be super liquid. So you'll be able to get in and out as you need to.
Yep. I agree. I do think it's going to add like more velocity and more momentum, or not. I don't want to say momentum, but liquidity. So it won't feel like it's going to take, like 2 weeks for you to sell your OMB or anything, which is good. But I'm going to be curious to see what I obviously ZK is going to ZK, so he'll do his thing, but it's going to be curious because this is dilutionary. Like any way, shape, or form you cut it, it's dilutionary, and that kind of ruins the OMB is going to be the Boogle narrative at the same time. It's like ZK is getting a whole lot of liquidity. What's he going to do with it? We'll find out. Like I would imagine ZK is going to take that liquidity and be like, I'm going to build an empire. Over on Ordinals, which is very untapped and everything. So that would be my guess. I think it's long-term more bullish. And
short-term, probably bearish if you're a red or green blue eyes holder. I mean, it's not sitting here lying. It's just, we don't know what's going to happen with the price action, but based off of historical trends, the floor of red and blues will probably drop. We don't know how much it's going to drop. We don't know how it's going to affect it. We don't know if ZK is going to make a separate collection for Green Eye specifically from OMB. So I don't know, but it would be safe to assume what Bison was saying.
Yep, 100%. Okay, cool. Let's go over to Ethereum real quick. Then we'll wrap it up for the day because I got some dogs to trade. But let's go over to Ethereum. So really the big thing I want to touch on, because Ether, the ETH heads will know more about that. I just see it briefly. I see it mentioned in the same breath as the Suzuki, and they love their anime mints over there. They do.
Yeah, they do, man.
Which is good. I mean, I love
the anime mints, man.
Well, Azuki art is still some of my favorite across all chains. I mean, it is good.
It's good.
And I wish I could play the Azuki video. And unfortunately, we'll get hit with the DMCA, so not going to do it. But the video for the Azuki Elemental trailer is unreal. It is so good. It looks like an anime I actually want to watch. And I'm not the world's biggest anime guy. I got to be in the mood for it. I know you are, Dor. But this stuff looks so good, and this is a project I can finally see. Like, okay, this is something that, like, I don't want to say finally, because I think Pudgy's doing a really good job of it. I think DGod/Utes, D Labs in general, will find their niche to the broad stream adoption. I think they've done a really good job on the Web3 facing adoption, and they've targeted some really top tier celebrities, especially with the Ute list and stuff. But I don't think they got to the level where Pudgy, you could just see mass adoption, right? Like, and Pudgies are cute, they're fun. You see them in your GIFs or GIFs or whatever you want to call it. GIFs, they're GIFs. Let's go ahead and settle this debate right now. I don't know why I said GIFs, but it's GIFs. So you see them in GIFs, you see them with their toys and stuff coming out, and then you see Azuki, and you're like, this could actually be a really fun anime. The problem is, if they don't succeed with how much they are raising, they're going to get fudded to shit, and you lose everything. If they succeed in what they are doing, Azuki's go to like 40 ETH floor. Like, I don't even think. I think they actually have a shot of replacing Base C, which has been on a momentous downturn. Momentous.
Yes,
Yuga
dude.
is absolutely shitting the bed, capitulating. And I don't know if this is a byproduct of them just getting out of hand with their, dilutionary measure. They have so many collections, it's hard to even think about what's going on with Yuga. I don't know if it's blur farming, because we've seen that really, hit them hard. But I don't know what it is. And it might be a multitude of different things. But I think Azuki has a much, like, through it all, dude. Like the Zagabond FUD, the beans dropping, and what do beans do? And then, I don't know. They've just been through a lot of FUD. And they still have a top tier community. I see, like, my favorite people on crypto Twitter on all chains are like Wale and some of the other people that are over there that just rep Azuki's. Min is another one too. I'm trying to think of all the ones. Yeah, Min's great at content creating. They're just good people. Like, it feels like they foster a really good community. And Elementals is going for about a $34 million raise. $34 million. So that's what it costs to, like, if you look at what I saw somebody tweet about it, and I couldn't agree more. Like an episode of Demon Slayer, cost a metric fucked up. Like,
but Demon Slayer, that's top tier animation right there.
Yeah, that's like that's like Mappa and stuff like that. So them and like Attack on Titan and stuff, dude, I can only imagine it costs like $250,000 minimum to produce an episode. So you look at 34 mil, you're like, you better produce a 3-season top tier banger with that kind of money. I don't know. I don't know if they will or not, but if they succeed in doing so, I think that's enough to overtake Base C. But that's just my opinion. And then what it does, it also leads a pathway to bigger raises. Maybe not even on Solana or anything like that, but probably Bitcoin. I would say it flushes over into Bitcoin, but for Ethereum, and we go back into a bull market where everybody's bullish on the NFTs. I said a lot there. Let's go over to Dor first, and then Joe.
So I had a quick question about elementals. Do you know how big the collection size is? Do you know, like, how they're interact within the ecosystem? How much are their pre-mints or whatnot? I don't know. I know a couple people were, I think, in pre-sales for like 2 ETH.
So their Dutch auction, from what I understood, started out at 2 ETH, which again scares me because that sounds so much like Pixelmon, and I'm like, oh my god, not Pixelmon again. But it's Azuki.
Oh, dude, Pixelmon.
Yeah, it's Azuki. So I think they'll do pretty well. But yeah, the last time I checked, it was 2 ETH Dutch auction, and then I think it was like 1.8 is pretty much the average price of them. And I think it is, was it a 10K collection or a 15K? I can't remember, but there's gas wars going on. I don't know if you saw the mint window either. It was like 10 minutes per phase. And I'm like, dude, you're asking for a gas war. Absolutely asking for it.
Oh, yeah, dog.
I mean, that's just, oh, man. So I'm like, oh, goodness gracious. But at the same time, now I'm looking at Cirrus's tweet where it says 0.09 ETH in gas to mint 332 elementals. Azuki devs built different. So it looks like they scaled it better. But still, 0.09 ETH. That's still like $150. You know, I know that cost.
You don't get there with spending $150 on a transaction, dude.
And they're happy about that. I mean, like, look, I'm fine with that because that's a hell of a lot better than I remember it, dude. If you saw the other side,
dude, bull market, what 2021, man, $300-400 for a transaction. Slow time, 150 to 200.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, that's yeah.
Good luck doing DeFi on ETH back in the day, dog.
Yeah. I mean, but like, I don't know. It's dude, ETH is just so hard to mint on, dude. I can't imagine it, but yeah, all of this leads to the whole discussion point is bigger mints. If they succeed on this paves a whole new era for bullishness for NFTs because you combine that with all the ETF news coming out and like we had a top tier FUD. We thought we were going into another black swan, and then oh, by the way, we got BlackRock coming in here with Charles Schwab and all those
and
folks.
Fidelity.
Yeah, Fidelity. I mean, they're launching their own exchange. Yeah, all that's tinfoil hat theory, but it just ushers in a new era for potential raises for NFT projects, which to me, especially when you combine it with Solana and stuff, if we can raise even a fraction of what they're trying to raise, like if we can raise 3 mil, when's the last time we saw a 3 mil raise? It's been since the bull market.
How much did Soul Casino raise?
That not nearly as much. They raised like 1.2 mil or something like that last time I checked. But when's the last time? Well, I have not seen a 3 mil raise. It'll be Monkey DAO. The monkeys will raise more than that, but that's also to pay back a $2 million loan again for the IP. So, but what do I know? Joe, what do we feel about all of this? I mean, do you think that's going to trickle into Sol or anything like that? Like this is a huge mint. It's 34 mil. 34 mil.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think much of it will roll into Sol. I just never seen Azuki liquidity ever come back to Sol. That community kind of sticks with ETH. But I think that it could help Sol from just a trickle down effect of that liquidity being played around with NFTs, just from the psychological effect it has. But the liquidity, I mean, maybe. I think Bodoggo's brought over some eyes, but I think heavy Azuki guys, those heavy ETH whale guys, they don't really even, like a lot of Asian guys don't even care about Sol. Like they don't care about, there's no money to move here. There's nothing to really market make or do how they, the 100K is like their minimum, right? Bag they come in with. And it's just like very hard to get in and out of projects on Sol, that type of bag without causing them go to zero. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but I do think it's good for the overall NFT space. And I do believe Solana is the place for NFTs. Like I truly am a maxi on that aspect. Ordinals, I don't look at NFTs like that is provenance. That's a whole different aspect. Like digital assets that can be gamified and utilized in different and cool ways for mass adoption is always and forever be Solana and no other blockchain in my eyes. But so yeah, I hope that it'll be a good thing for the overall paradigm of NFTs and investors in trading. But I'm not going to get my hopes up on much liquidity coming back to Sol off of that.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think so either. So, yeah, I think that actually we got one more thing to talk about. Joe, I know you're excited for an Ordinal project coming up that I think we both share some bullishness on, and especially we'll get Dor to come around to it. I'm sure we will, but
I'm bullish on it, man. I just don't have any or use it.
Tell us about Ordinals. What's going on with Ordinals? Because I think we might have Andy's coming on this Thursday, right?
Yeah. Hey. Yes, he is. Yeah, Andy's coming on this Thursday.
So we can talk to
him. Yeah, I can't wait to have him on.
Yeah, Ordinals, I'll give you just a quick rundown. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be a new Ordinals collection. It's going to be strictly for Thor rewards. So they're going to be different tiers, basically, that you get for having these cyber frogs. There's only going to be like 1,600 of them. And there's going to be 1, 5, and 9. So either you hold 1, hold 5, and hold 9. There'll be different tiers for that. So like if you hold 1, you get BTC/Sol pairings, BTC USDT pairings, and access to that auto contract, right, to stack sats off of your Solana. And then 5 will give you 5 additional trading pairs, 10%. 9 will give you 10 additional pairs and 5% on that tax as well. So yeah, the inscription fee is already set out to be $65. So it's going to be a very, I think public sale is about $260. So on the Ordinal side, it's cheap. You know what I'm saying? And it's really bringing, I think, the first utility to Bitcoin, right? It's going, hey, Bitcoin maxis, if you want an auto hedge fund to stack sats with, off of different altcoin pairs. Here's an ordinal collection that'll give it to you, right? So it's kind of bringing both sides. It's got the, oh, cool, it's Bitcoin, it's this, it's that, but it's also got like real cool utility that ties right into the mainframe of BTC. So I think it's something to look out for. Low supply, 1,600 or so. Public mint 265, inscription fee $65. So I think there's some room there.
Yeah, man. Like I don't do nearly as much as like short-term trading, especially coin trading, as Bison and Joe do. But if I did, I would just throw money into the Thor contract. It seems like a no-brainer. I don't think I can out-trade that contract, so why even try?
So, Dora, to put it, so I'll give you guys a true example. So I just checked my Thor contract, and I posted on Twitter. I'm very transparent, and my police contract has an average soul buy-in for me around 13K for right around the under $15, right? There's no way with what I've been doing in my life would I've been able to have that entry. And that's just on the auto side. The manual side is when you have a full 24 frogs, the amount of pairings you have, if you're a real trader, it's pretty serious. But what I think about Cyber Frogs, Ordinals within itself is for people that aren't in it yet and want to get into something, the price for that is much lower than you would per se be like 5,000 to be a whale for the Soul Frogs. It's only like $2,000 to be a whale for the BTC Frogs. You know what I'm saying? So there is some arbitrage to be had there too. So yeah, just a quick shout out to Andy and then big ups on them, brother.
Yep, we're gonna we'll have Andy on to talk about everything Thor and Ordinals and all that good stuff. But what was your question, Dora? I know you had something.
Yeah, I was just going to say something that sets Andy, and not like knocking Tom or whatnot, but I was huge in Natayo a while ago because of what Tom's visions were, but he always proposed or had a lot of execution risk. While Andy, but is definitely the guy who's a visionary on the tech side and actually executes on what he delivers on.
Yeah,
or what he envisions.
And I got to give a shout out to Siles. So Siles is the dev, right? He's what you see, he builds. Thor was his product and his business partner for 10 years that they brought in and were able to build throughout DeFi. So this back product is all like Siles is a G and a legend that I think doesn't get talked about enough. He's a high level dev and he kills it on Solana. So yeah, big shout outs to that whole team there.
Yep, absolutely. No, I think a lot of people underrate Cyber Frogs, man. I mean, they just doing the right thing to the right things to like make this decentralized hedge fund like a legal entity. And I think that is the coolest thing that we could possibly do with NFTs right now in the current state of them. So I don't know what's going on with Doors Connection either, but I think that about does it for us today, dude. The alpha for you guys right now is one, look at your favorite collections because everybody's probably cycling in their liquidity and everything like that over to capture Bodogos or play Bodogos. If you don't already have your bag for Bodogos, like look, we can't help you. Well, we tried to tell you so many times, go out, like don't fade easy and everything, but monkeys are definitely going to take some liquidity as well from all these other collections. I think the alpha is stay 2 steps ahead of the market. We talk about this always. If you didn't get an optimal entry into Bodogos and you don't win the raffles or anything and you have that liquidity sideline for it, I think the better play is to start going back into some of these collections that may have sold off heavy that you love to get into Bodogos and everything like that.
Yeah. Claynos and Liberty Square hollowed, guys. 2 deflationary projects coming up that no one's talking about, right? Stay 2 ahead. It's maybe nothing, maybe is, but you got to remember, deflationary announcements when no one's thinking about it and they're set up, things might roll back in. So just think about plays like that. That's not like 2 plays to run into. It's just like a thought process to be had. And I agree, B. Just wanted to double off that.
Yep, 100%. I think that about does it for today, guys. We all good? We talk about everything we want to? Did we miss anything?
Nah, man, we think out.
Sweet. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today for another episode of RareFUD Radio. Make sure you join us on Thursday. We will be talking to Andy, getting into Cyber Frogs. I'm excited. We've been meaning to have Andy on the show for so long and just been going back and forth. They are obviously cooking over there, building, like legitimately building. So Yeah, I'm excited to have him on, especially right before Ordinals goes live, which I think it is live for the whales. So unless you are a whale, you'll have to wait a little bit. But excited to break down the project with him. So make sure you are subscribed down below. See that big red button down there? It's free. It's free to hit that button. And then you can hit that little bell notification to get notified every single time we go live, Tuesday, Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with episodes loaded right after the show up to Apple and Spotify. That about does it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on Thursday for another episode